All right, guys, I just want to, first of all, like everybody else that speaks, just thank the coaches for the opportunity to allow me to do this. And I said it the other day when I was in a little group that I'm not lost on the fact that many of you have been here so many more times and have never had the opportunity to speak in front of this group. And so I understand that. But I also stand up here feeling privileged because I get asked by some of the greatest coaches that ever coached the game to talk about how I did things. And so I understand. I spent like 10, 20 minutes last year talking about how I felt it was an honor and a privilege to coach this game. For those of us that coach in the NFL or college, you're coaching the one percenters. For those of you coaching high school or lower levels or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still a privilege and honor for you to be coaching those young men because you're coaching them more than the X's and O's. You're teaching them how to be men and how to grow up. And so I'm not going to get into all that, but I just want you to know I stand up here because of that, because of men like you, because of like Howard Mudd, and he's my football dad. He broke me in as a rookie. I played for Larry Zerline. I played for Mike Munchak, Bill Muir, and Doug Marrone. So I have had some really good coaches. So some of the guys you've heard from, I played for. So a lot of the stuff that they're being taught this week and throughout these clinics are things that I did, and I share deeply a lot of the philosophies of some of the stuff that we just heard today, just in the zone principles and things like that. So. But I'm not here to talk to you about zone. You've heard it, three different variations of it today. I'm here to talk to you about what my role is and some of the things that I thought of as a center. Last year I was up here joking around about if you had a job available, I'm looking for a job, and things work out as they always do in this profession, that you kind of land somewhere where you didn't think you wanted to be, but you find out later on that's a really good situation. And that's the situation for me at ASU. My daughter had committed as a swimmer to ASU. We moved down here for her to train, thought we were going to game the system and get in-state tuition. And then fast forward 6 months later, Herm Edwards gets hired as the head coach there. And so that was my aha moment, jump in relationships, and Herm hired me on as a quality control assistant. I'm here today with Dave Christensen, who's our offensive line coach, been around a long time, a former head coach at Wyoming. And it's neat to work with him because he's been the top dog before and he's been a long time O-line coach, and we share a lot of the same philosophies, but he's not beyond the fact that I got some ideas he's maybe never heard of, but he understands that I'm trying to get somewhere where he's been in the coaching profession. He's willing to help me to do that, so I honor Dave in that respect. Today I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about Pass Pro. As many of you guys have read Howard Mudd's book and how pass protection is not a passive activity. I firmly 100% believe that. I think Pass Pro is an active process. I think it's something that you have to have the mindset for. And I believe, like my slide says, it's not passive. And I want to talk to you about it from a center's perspective. So many of you guys have played the game. I'm not going to insult your intelligence on what you thought to play or how you coach it. But sometimes after you've been coaching for 20 or 30 years, or you had guys like me or Joe Thomas or whatever, you want to think, like, what were you thinking when you did that? What was your mindset? What was your process when you decided to take a set that way or to jump a guy? Or why would you even think to do something that looks so silly? So that's what I want to talk to you about. But keep in mind this, all right? I come up here today understanding that there are things that certain players can do that you can never teach your guys to do. There are things that Joe Thomas can do as a tackle that you don't have a guy that can do that, so you don't want to teach that guy that. I'm the same way, and I understand that, and I appreciate that, but I also want you to appreciate me for understanding that. There are things I did as a player that you'd be crazy as a coach to even try to teach that. I interned at Vanderbilt University under Herb Hand. He's now at University of Texas, and it's great to see him there today. But he reminded me of something I told him, and I told his guys at Vanderbilt when I was there, that the biggest thing about offensive line play is building the foundation. It's like building a house. You start with the foundation, you lay the cement, and you work your way up. Some of the stuff that I taught or talk about is the crown molding, right? You buy a house, it's got 10-foot ceilings and stuff like that, and you want it to all look good, but you want to go hang the crown molding right now. And you can't do that because you got to build the foundation. That's what O-line coaching is all about, is teaching guys fundamentals and foundational footwork and hand placement and head placement, angles, blocks, how to get off, what am I recognizing in stunts, twists, the foundational part of the play, but then the beauty of the position as a player is the things you figure out on your own, the aha things. Oh, I can do this. Last year I talked about rip the ripper on the backside block and arm barring a guy versus the inside club. That's not foundational footwork. That's the crown molding, all right? And so some of you guys have players that you can teach crown molding to, and some of the guys you still lay in cement. So keep that in mind as well. So just some of my thoughts on pass pro is this. I believe, and these are my thoughts, I believe as a player that my set dictates the pass rush of the defender. I totally believe that I can determine the type of rush that I will face. Where I set a defender determines his rush path. All right, so if I set him inside and stay strong inside and I consistently show that to him, he's not going to try to cross my face. I'm going to set him to where he has to rush one gap. If I'm a center and I set to my snap hand side, I'm telling him, you only got my left hand A-gap rush. That's all you got. If I got a 50 front nose tackle, how I set him determines which way he has to take his rush. If I have an A-gap squat running back, I'm going to set away from my running back help, knowing that running back comes through my A-gap, he's going to flush that nose tackle back across my face. Now I've cheated my set to get him to come to me where I can grab and gather the guy. So I believe that my set can determine his pass rush. I also believe that how soft or aggressive I set him will determine his first move or his counter move. And sometimes you don't think about that, but in my experience as a player, this is what happens. If I jump set a guy, he's got two types of moves. He can only bull rush me to counter it, or he's got to Olay me or big arm over or a big make me miss move. That's the only two things he can do to me. Come at me with power or big arm over, a big like Olay type move. Then I also believe that if I set soft on him, his only two moves are going to power bull rush, or now he's got to work his hands, his scissors, and his hand swipes. So then knowing that, how I set the guy, now I automatically know how I'm going to react to what he's going to give me. And I'm going to talk about some experiences and show you some clips, but just quickly, I know that if I set soft on a John Henderson, who's 6'8", and he's almost the size of Goliath, he's going to put his ears back, he's going to bull rush me, and I can't stop him at 280 pounds. Not going to happen. So what did I do to John Henderson? I jumped him in his face every time, didn't let him get started. And now he's not quick enough with big hand moves to beat me. So I won the pass rush because I dictated the rush that he was going to have to give me, and I also determined and knew what his counter moves were going to be. I also believe that changing your sets up makes you an unpredictable pass protector. And I've seen clips yesterday, and I've seen them before, and sometimes I've seen some of your guys, they take the same set over and over and over again. And you get to one-on-one pass rush, which is a faulty drill to begin with because it's geared towards the defense, and your tackle is taking the same set over and over and over again. 1, 2, 3, wait, and now the guy's coming, and the defense is going to make his move. As a center, set, throw my offhand, wait, and it's the same thing. So I believe that you need to change your moves up. Change, just like they changed their pass pro up, or their pass moves, I changed my sets up. I'm going to come, I'm going to stone you, I'm going to stone you, I'm going to stone you. Move, I'm going to back off you now. So now you don't know if I'm going to jump you, I'm going to set soft on you now, because they're taught, have a plan. How many times have you lined up in one-on-one pass rush and you hear the defense line coach, have a plan, have a plan, have a plan. Well, he has a plan based on Joe Thomas's, that's a bad example, but he has a plan based on Billy, whose set looks the same every day. So his pass rush is determined by his distance away from the tackle and number of steps he's going to take to get there and how many kicks that tackle is going to take. So I believe that if you change up your pass set, it makes you an unpredictable pass rusher or pass protector. Firmly 100% believe that my feet come before my hands. I cannot throw a punch. I cannot be effective with my hand placement, whether it's double under, two-hand, hand replacement, whatever you want to call it, teach it, however you want to do it. You can't throw a punch and you can't land a hand unless your feet are there. If your feet don't go, you're throwing outside your body, you're leaning and you get thrown, right? So if he's not close enough and my feet aren't bringing me up into the body, I throw a punch, I'm whiffing air, or I'm reaching out, I'm lunging. But I firmly believe that you got to get your feet before your hands. You have to be in position to be effective with your hands. Another thing, you guys have heard this, Howard Mudd talks about it all the time. time and space, time and space, time and space. I heard the defensive coach yesterday said that space is his friend, right? Space is his friend. So if I can disrupt his space, then I disrupt his pass rush. And the other thing is this, is if I disrupt his space, then I disrupt his timing. Like I just said about the tackle, if I have a nose tackle who knows that he's only 2 yards away from me, his move is based on that neutral zone space, I can do one or two things. I can jam him up, I can jump set him, I disrupt his space, mess up his timing. I set soft on him, now he wastes his move on air, I mess his timing up and I disrupt his space. So I believe that whenever you change your thing up, your sets, you can also disrupt his time and space. The other thing is this, trust your wingman. How many times have you told your guard, don't leave your wingman, don't leave your center, or your center, don't leave your guard? Howard Mudd preaches it, and I've lived it. Don't leave to look. Do not leave to look. If I'm set post-hand in my shade nose tackle, there's no reason for me to get out there to help an outside move 3 technique. I got time. Protect the A gap with my body, protect the B gap with my eyes, right? Don't leave to look and trust my wingman. Another part of that is I have to trust him, and he's got to trust that I'm working to him. So I got to trust the guy who's working to me, but then the guy that I'm working to has to know that I'm going to get there. There's guys that I was in a situation when I played for Munchak that when I post-hand my nose tackle, my guard was oversetting the 3 tech all the time, automatically. So now I'm playing oh shit catch up to this, to try to protect that gap move when there's no outside threat. There's no reason for my guard to overset a 3 technique when there's no outside threat on the 5. Right now, if I see roll coverage and the number 2 guy's about to come, then I get that. It's a full slide. We got to go, go, go. But if I'm setting and I got a hard nose and I got a hard 3 and a hard 5, no exterior threat, don't go. Trust that I'm going to get there and take you off your block when you need to get there. And so that was one of the things I want guys to think about, is to trust my wingman, and my wingman's got to trust me. And the last part of that is communication in everything. There's no secrets on the offensive line. And from day one, you guys should be teaching your guys, you make every call that's in our book. Every call. Make every call until we get to a situation where I can say, John, yeah, okay, done. We know exactly what we're talking about. But that doesn't happen overnight. It happens over the length of the season. It was not until like 2 or 3 weeks in that you get it. And so part of the communication process in a pass pro is my guy needs to know if I'm there or if I'm not there. And that communication can be verbal. I set, I slide, hey, I'm gone, I'm good. You can go. I got him. Just like we talk about twists. I set on a guy, he's penetrating, I'm in, the looper comes around, game, twist, stunt, whatever. It's a communication process. It's the same thing when I'm in pass pro. If I'm sliding and I'm trying to get an overlap, a 3 technique or the shade 1, I'm sitting there, I want to put my hand on this guy's back so my guard feels me. He has physical communication that he knows his wingman's on his backside. And then once I take over to that and I got protection on him, I said, go, go, go. I got him. So now he knows whenever he's ready to or has to, he can go help the tackle. So communication is key in pass protection. This is one of the things that we all have issues with as O-line coaches. You got to trust the quarterback's going to get rid of the ball. And we all tell our offensive linemen, don't be counting no clock in your head. It's not 4 seconds and go. Well, bull crap. Because we all know that I'm 1,001, a punch, 1,002, 1,003. This ball needs to be going. What's happening? And you got Chad Pennington doing this number. Hey, guys, what's up? Signing autographs. And then you're going to throw the ball. Throw the ball. I got to trust that my quarterback's going to get the ball out of his hands, right? Sometimes that doesn't happen. And sometimes you got... What was the one that Howard was talking about the other, you guys weren't here, the dime store with the wooden Indian. You know, some quarterbacks are wooden Indians. They just stand back there. Another thing is trust your instincts, all right? Now, this is kind of a tricky situation because if you got a young player starting a center and who's never played the game before and doesn't have a bunch of skins under his belt, then his instincts aren't as sharp as a guy who's played 15 or 16 years in the league. So I had a conversation yesterday with Howard and talking about I was sliding one way where I was supposed to be, but I was looking away from the slide. He called BS on it. I said, Howard, I did it. because I trusted my instincts. I knew what I saw, and I knew what I tested myself. I knew it was going to happen, so I could slide to the shade knowing I wasn't going to get pressure here, but my eyes were over here the whole time, knowing I should have been here, because I had an instinctual understanding of what was about to happen because of the number of times I played this particular team, who, oh, by the way, happened to be Howard's team, the Indianapolis Colts. And so then the last thing is this: be aggressive. There's nothing that I don't like more than having a center just sitting in the pocket just doing this number. I mean, we got guys like that. Go find work. We tell our guys, go find work all the time. Be aggressive in everything. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm just kind of going to go through some of these clips and show you what I mean when I talk about these things. And then hopefully it makes sense to you guys. And we'll see, kind of see how it goes. Now, I'm going to have to apologize way in advance because I got some really good clips that are recent clips of today's players, and then you find out how old you are when they take your clips and put them on there. The end of my career was the beginning of digital video, but their HD wasn't invented yet. So those of us that came up on beta and stuff like that, we had to do the tracking bar. So some of my video actually has some of those kind of problems. All right, so I picked out Pouncey because he's an athletic guy. I like the way he moves. I respect his coach. I play for Munch, and I know what Munch expects out of his players. So I'm just going to kind of show you some of the stuff, and then I'll go through some of mine. So here we go. He's sliding to the left. Obviously, the back's got the right side. He's got to check with release or whatever. And Pouncey's sliding to a shade nose, or we call it one technique, two eye, whatever you want to call it. And he gets where he needs to be, and I think that's great. His assignment's good, but to me, it's not aggressive enough. You right? And there's some of them in here. I'm just going to run through it, and then I'm going to give you examples. Here, he gets to a shade. He gets there, puts hands on, and he does his job. You can't fault it. The guy's going to get a plus on it. Same thing. We're going to keep going, and I'm just going to run through some of these. Right? So we talk about hang, right? He's going to hang, post hand, get it. Now you're in no man's land. That's what I want to see. Boom, right there. I want to see somebody disrupt the pocket. That was my mentality. I want a guy to know that if he's going to hang around or show me rib cage, I'm going to eat some cartilage right there, right? So then what that tells me is next time he doesn't want to make that move inside, he's going to stay outside. And by Pouncey finally, instead of hanging right here, he goes, attacks it, he disrupts the pocket, right? So he widens it out. Same thing right here. Shade knows, I know I got help. DeCastro's a hell of a player. I got to trust my wingman. But to me, it's not aggressive enough. All right, John Sullivan, 10-year vet, good player. I like some of the stuff he did. I love how aggressive he is with his hands. He's playing long. It's something we've heard in this clinic before. He's there. He's not preventing a move. But I don't think he's instilling fear in the defensive lineman. Like this one a lot better. That looks like something Howard Mudd teaches, right? Jump set everything, make everything look like a run, so when you do play action pass, you don't have to tell the guys, sell the run, because they're already selling the run. Same thing, a little bit more aggressive, like it, right? And then I know we're going to get questions. What about the inside move? What about the pick stunts? What about the TTs? Well, how about this? If I bust him in his ass and knock him off his course, I don't have to worry about it, right? It's his problem, not mine. All right, so now here I am, Tennessee Titans. This is probably, I think this is my next to last year in the league. And a lot of it's here. I know that Jake Scott's going to be there if something happens, so I can go get him right now. It doesn't look like a pass set. It looks like I'm trying to run him off the block, right? So once I throw my hands on him, now I can widen the pocket. There's a little stunt right there with the linebacker, and we just rub off into it. Not a problem. John Henderson, I can't set soft on this guy because I'm too light in the ass. I weigh 280 pounds in this game. He weighed 340 pounds. He's 6'8", I'm 6'4". I had no chance of setting soft on him, but I want to go get him because once I put my face in his body, he can't move quick enough because I'm a quicker player than he is, right? And then as we watch some of these films too, it's going to be one of my points. I just kind of watch my hands once I make contact and just kind of mentally note some of that stuff because I'm going to make mention of it here in a little while. Jeff Scanina is a bigger guy who is probably a bull rush player but wants to play like a little guy. He wants to make you think he's got big moves and stuff like that. He's now the D-line coach at the San Francisco 49ers, and we always had fun playing against each other, but this is the kind of guy he was, right? I don't sit back and wait. Sometimes my sets look imperfect. I get that. I understand that. I always felt like I don't care how you get there, but how's your body and how's your feet when you make contact with the guy. But by me hitting him the way I did, I disrupt him right here. Now they run the TE stunt. I'm in perfect position to take it on. And then from here, I don't just let the guy go. I make sure he knows he doesn't want to come back across the pile again. Whether I hit him, I throw him, I roll him up, doesn't matter to me. I just want him to know that he doesn't belong in my A-gap. Same here. Go get him. You're going to go after him. I want to widen the pocket out. Go stone him. He can't get started. I disrupted his space. He has no pass rush move. Now he thinks, oh crap, I'm getting bull rushed, or it's a zone block. Now he's got to find the ball. So now he peeks, tries to find the ball. It's a pass play. He doesn't know any better. Same situation. Now I'm let's change my setup a little bit. I'm not in his face now. I got him on the move, but it's a scat protection. Obviously, there's no running back. He knows his pass, but just because there's no running back doesn't mean I got to be soft on the guy. I know I got help by Jake Scott. Jake does a great job. Anytime I leave, I'm on a post hand. Jake's not leaving to look. He's sitting vertical right there. He's got his hand out. He feels it, but I know I got help, and now I can do my magic. I work my hands. I go stone him. I disrupted the pocket, and now we got a little window for our quarterback to break out of and move around. Right here, right? Now here's something this is what I believe in. I believe if I go stone a guy, it gives me time. I get my head out of the block. I can see things happening that some guys might not pay attention to. Watch that middle linebacker. He's going to try to take the A-gap. I stone the nose tackle. I get my body off of him. Boom. Take the hit off the running back. Right? Now, that's one of those things you can't teach a guy to do that. That's instincts. That's 16 years that you just don't do, right? You're not going to say, hey, stone your nose tackle when that guy runs through, throw your hips in the hole. It's not going to happen, all right? But this is what allowed me the ability. And then after that, watch what I do here. See this other linebacker over here? I see him. See him, I dip my shoulder back in that hole. It makes him want to avoid it, right? Now he's got to go chase. Different type of player, Casey Hampton. He's a squatty bowling ball type guy, but I don't care. I'm going to go jump him because I know he can't beat me with a fast move, right? And now they're going to run some kind of TT or rub off TT, but because I jumped him, I'm high in the pocket, I can feel this, and I just kind of hang on to him a little bit. Did I hold? You damn right I did. Ball gets out. No hold, no flag, no foul. Haloti Ngata. Big guy. Now this guy's a little different because he's got quick moves. He's got power and moves. So this is a guy in the course of the game, I change it up. I'm going to jump him. I'm going to back off him. But once I back off of him, I'm going to go get him. Because if I back off of him, what did I say his two move options are? It's a power bull rush that's going to come back with some hand swats. Well, I don't want to have to stop his full-on bull rush charge, right? So once I come off of him, I set soft. Now I'm going to stay inside of him. But my hands, I've locked on. I found the V of his neck. And now he's got no minimum. Now he's just got to out-battle me. I believe I was a better athlete than he was. So no matter what kind of tossing around I did, I can mirror dodge him, right? But see, I have my left hand, my off hand's in the block the whole time. And now he just sit there and dance with me. I'm going to win the dance every time. Jamal Williams, boom, stone him, disrupt the pocket, get him out of there, all kinds of space. All right, and I can go over and over and show you some just clips of those kind of things on that particular look. Now, offhand, throw my offhand, I jump the guy, work my hands. We're going to get to some of that stuff later. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. How about that? That doesn't look like a pass set, does it? It is. It's a three-step drop. That's why everybody go get him, but I still wouldn't got him. Go get him. Looks like a run. Looks like I'm running zone or something like that. It doesn't look like a pass protection. Same thing, right? Rub off. I think we saw that one. So I can show you over and over clips like that. This now go wider. I don't care. He's a head up. Get my body in there. Look at my left hand. Talk about being on your wingman. Watch my right hand. I don't just stone him, but you see a little swipe in there. All right, it's changed my stuff up. Now a different kind of cats here. We're playing the Cardinals. You got Darnell Dockett's in there. These are all quick, twitchy guys that want to jump around and use hand moves. But I want to give them ground, but I want to go tack them. I want to keep them at the line of scrimmage. I don't want them to get started. Right? So now I go up there, I locked him out. I'm at the line of scrimmage, and he hasn't even got to the ball. And now his only recourse is to go find the ball and chase down the field. Same thing right here. Now I'm in, throw him out of the pocket. And I'm not saying that like I'm the most strongest guy or the smartest guy. I'm just telling you this is what worked for me. Look, I'm out of control, boom, but I put him out of there. I displaced him by 2 gaps. All right, I'm on my butt, but he ain't going to make the play because I've already put him out of the way. All right, Domite Pico, now they're going to run a TT stunt. But because I got over there, my guard did a great job. I trusted my lineman. We communicated. I knew this was going to happen. I can just sit there and let him throw him across my face, talked about the penetrator and the looper, right, and just gather it. So that's different shades, tight shades, and things like that. Well, Kevin, what about double 3 techniques? So when you say double 3 techniques, automatically you should be coaching your guys, and your players should be thinking there's some kind of games going on. There's going to be a TE, double TE, a TXE. The culture should do the double TE with the E's wrapping on the inside. There's going to be a double mugs. There's all kinds of stuff. And so, but that didn't change my mentality. Now, how I got there might have changed, but how I approached it once I got there did not. I want to get there, boom. I want to stone the guy. I want to attack the guy. I don't want to sit there and wait for something to happen. Culture a little bit different now, right? We talk about who your guy is. If I'm playing against somebody that's strong and powerful, I want to get in his face. But if I'm playing against somebody like these guys that move around a lot, I don't want to go jump because I know their game is a stunt and twist game. So I'm going to set a little bit softer. I'm going to gather things, but once I put hands on, I want to push and drive, right? I set soft right here, and I'm looking for something. So it doesn't change my mentality, but the approach does change because of the people I'm playing against, right? So now I get depth in the pocket. I got to get a little bit softer, expect some kind of game, keep my head on a swivel, know who my wing guy is. Great job by the penetrator to toss and look just like the drill that Coach Wiley showed a little bit a while ago. That's Eugene Amano, right? Same thing. I want to go in there. I see a guy come over top. I want to hit a guy. I want to be aggressive enough. Now, this is different, a little base protection. This is one of the kind of deals where it's the 6-man pro. The running back's got the linebacker on his side. I'm supposed to be sliding to this way, but I just kind of want to drift and get closer to a guy that I know the dude is, or just where I think the stunt might be coming. So I call it drifting in my set. I'll drift, and this is one of the things I talked about. Like I'll drift to the low shade if it's a base protection, or what I'll do is drift to the dude. So if it's double 3 techniques and say the guy over my right guard is the dude, I don't want to just slide over here because he's not the guy that's going to give us problem. So I'll set straight back, and I'll just kind of drift to the dude with my eyes on my linebacker. Something you don't probably teach your guys. You probably wouldn't want to teach your guys, but it's an instinct that I got. If I knew something was happening, I can drift to the guy. Say if both 3 techniques are exactly the same, the type of player, you're not threatened by either one of them. Now who do I drift to? I drift to the lesser of my 2 guards. Which one of my guards I know is going to need more help than the other? I felt comfortable with Jake Scott because he was a more athletic guy, but I knew that Eugene Mono, if he clamped down on the guy wasn't going to make a move on him. But if he had to face an athletic guy, he might not could dance as well. So sometimes I would drift to that guy, and that's what ends up happening on this play right here. But once I get there, I don't just sit there and wait for the guy. I want to throw a punch. I want to put a helmet on him, right? And then I want to be aggressive on things. And so here I could, 1, stop the penetrator, or 2, let him go where he wants to go. Man, I don't want to stop you. I want to work smarter. I don't want to work harder. I'll let you go, but as long as I toss you, I can disrupt the entire game. Here we go. This is a situation here. I see a linebacker coming over the top, so I don't want to just turn and slide right away. I want to see, because if he's coming over the top, my instinct tells me that the 3 technique to the left is probably going to come across my face, and if they're doing that, their tendency is to run a TT in the middle. So you see me backpedaling out. I'm drifting in my set, supposed to be sliding to the right, waiting for the worst case scenario to happen, knowing that the best case scenario will happen, nothing happens, and now I can go be physical on this. Now what they're trying to run is a TE on the other side, but because I'm physical when I get there, I disrupt the move, right? So you guys are getting some of this, 3 techniques right here. Well, my guy's up, there's no threat, let me go help in the pocket, come back, put something on somebody. Same thing, now, just go get them. I got no responsibilities to the right side of the pocket. I want this guy to know that there's no way you're coming back to the inside, right? So I've now knocked him over into the B gap and outside the pocket. The Ravens, no difference. I get there, someone wants to come back, I want him, and I was going headhunting right here, and it just didn't happen. And sometimes it happens, but here's the deal. You can't be afraid to be aggressive. When you're afraid to be aggressive, you get soft, and that's when you let guys dictate to you. I wanted to be aggressive. I'm going to get there. Watch how heavy-handed I am on my inside hand. Whoop, throw it on there. He's not going to make a move on me. Set soft, get heavy. Set soft, get heavy. All right, I'm going to go through some more of these here. There's a couple of them that there's 1 or 2 of them I really like that y'all need to see. Right here, right? Get over there, boom, you're not coming back inside, your day's done. Come over here, no, I'm going to stop this twist before you get all the way over. That's my A gap, you don't belong over here. This is one of my favorite clips, all right? And so, knew the TE was coming, and they tipped it off, they ran it earlier, and there are times you just want to be an asshole to somebody, right? And you just want to just let them know that, yeah, I'm a dick and, you know, I'm a great guy off the field, but I'm going to try to take you out of the game. And here's one thing. Bill Muir used to tell us this all the time. Because the reason why the number 2 guy's not playing because he's not as good as number 1. So if you can get number 1 out of the game, you get to play against a lesser player, right? So if I can get you out of the game, whatever it might be, right, I'd be that guy. And I was that guy, right? So now what happens is instead of him trying to go make a rush, he's going to try to come back at me, and guess what? I got a 2-for on that play, right? Cut him twice, and then so he doesn't show this on the film, I got a personal foul because he dropped an atomic elbow in my rib cage. The ref was right there. So I got him cut twice, and I got a 15-yarder, and he got a $10,000 fine. Not bad, right? So, okay, well, Kevin, you showed me slides and uncovered and stuff. How do you teach blocking a 50 front? A 50 front now, it's a different beast. A 50 front, the way I set him, it all depended on who the guy was. All right? When I'm blocking a head-up nose and pass pro, and I'm not sliding, or maybe I am, it all depends on who the guy is. He's a big jump-around guy. I'm not going to jump set that guy. He's got a two-way go on me. I want to take a two-way go away from him, right? I mean, I want to offset one way or another, or maybe I want to set a little bit softer. If it's a big, heavy dude, John Henderson, Casey Hampton, who I don't even know the names of players in the league today, but pick a big nose tackle, they don't have big moves. I'm going to jump them all day long. So this is John Sullivan right here, and I don't care. You still got to be aggressive, right? So here, and this is two things going on in this play, is one, he's not being aggressive enough in my mind on the nose tackle, but two, I'm thinking any 8-year vet should know if there's two guys stacked right there, the nose guard's going to come or I'm going to get picked, right? So that for me is a telltale. I'm going to set soft and bite the pick or whatever, and I'm going to gather it up. But here, he goes after the nose tackle. First of all, right, I got a shade nose to a 4-iron 9, right, or a 4-iron and wide 5. That guy doesn't belong in that gap, so something's up. Your instincts aren't right here. Your instincts should tell you that something's coming. Let me set off the ball and let them take place. All right, so now he gets picked, and they do okay with it, but not because of what the center did. It's all because of what the guard did. I don't ever want to go straight back on the guy because it gives him a two-way go, especially if it's a wiggle. If you wiggle and you miss, what's the first thing you're going to do for most positions? You're going to bail out your foot one way or another. And that's exactly what happened. He bails out. You can't bail out as a center. You can't, because you're in the middle of the pocket. You can bail out as a tackle and recover. You can bail out as a guard and recover. As a center, you have to displace them out of the A gaps. So you're a big guy, John Henderson, not going to do it. Now, Howard Mudd teaches this, and I still believe it. You got a 50 nose tackle front, split your feet, shoot your offhand. Split your feet, shoot your offhand, right? That's fine, but now I want to change it up. Split my feet, but split it offset, make them go one way. Split my feet, make them go to my snap hand side. But split your feet, shoot your hands, donkey kick them at all costs if you can. If we talk about that, do you ever throw your offhand to the face mask? Yes, I do, all the time. If I can put my hand in your face mask and jolt you, you're not going to get a penalty for a face mask hit. You're going to get a penalty for keeping your hand in the face mask. Jolt it, get it back inside. Casey Hampton, boom, jump him. Now it looks like a base run block. He doesn't know any better, but I'm in him now. He can't beat me with a big move. The pocket's not getting disturbed by me. It's getting disturbed by the guards. This is where the video messes up too, Bob. This is where I show my age. So I know I look 25, but I'm 47. So now here I am. This guy's different. This is Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith was not a power bull rush guy. Aaron Smith was a hands guy, right? So I didn't want to jump on Aaron Smith because then he was going to swat me and swim me or scissor me or whatever. So I set soft on him, and now I'm playing, or he's playing into my game because I was good at the hand battle stuff. And I keep telling you, just kind of mentally note some of the hand stuff that you see, right? Casey Hampton, a little bit different. So I offset him. I kind of cheated my set to the right. I'm thinking because of the way they were situated, Troy Polamalu's up to the top, that they were going to come back across my face. It didn't happen. I had to react to it. Yes, sir.
You cheat and offset on that.
Yep.
What's your instinct? You're determined and you know you can go left. How would you react on that?
So when I determined that I'm going to cheat my set on a 50 nose tackle, what's your protection? Is it a scat or is it a six-man? If it's six-man, is you're running back in the backfield, and which way is he vacating from, right? So if it's a slide right, I know my running back, if he's in the backfield, he's probably A-gap squat to outside. So he's checking here to here. So I know that if he runs through the A-gap, he's going to scare that nose tackle out of that gap. So I'll cheat away from that, and then I'll react back if it doesn't happen, right? So now if it's a scat protection, no running back help, I have to read coverages, where the roll coverage is. If it's then I'll cheat my set away from the roll coverage. Why do I do that? Because if they're roll coverage, that means gap control is going to tell everybody's going to come back across my face. If I got a 50 nose tackle, I'm going to set this way, knowing he's going to come back to me. If he doesn't, then I just recover on it, right? And so, and really, if I cheat my set, it's not when I'm jumping a guy. I'm cheating it when it's more setting a little bit soft on the guy or whatever. If I'm going to jump a guy, I'm just going to jump you right now and control the block with my hands. So does that answer your question? Yep. All right. So here you go. Here, all this is a split and jab. Split, jab my hand, and then I get busy. All right. Different guy. Split, jab, now I get a little soft. Get my head on a swivel, start looking for something. All right. And I'm just going to kind of fast forward through some of this stuff. Here's one right here, right? Because of what's doing with linebackers, I know the nose tackle's got to come back to my right side, so I can go ahead and start my kick slide that way, right? Because it's obvious that no linebacker in a 50 front plays that tight to the nose tackle. Some defensive guys are stupid. I mean, they're the dumbest guys on the football field. It really is. And so I just cheat my set knowing that they're coming back that way, right? Well, I'm going to trick this guy. I'm going to get 2 inches closer. Now I know, and I keep my head on a swivel, but I own the A-gap. You come in there, right? It's my A-gap. Same soft. Set him back a little bit, but don't let him get a bull rush start. Darnell Dockett, he's a move guy, so I want to set soft on him, right? I set soft. Now I control it. He's trying to read because Vince Young could run out of the pocket, so they're trying to spy him with the nose tackle on that one. Now, here's the deal. You see my hand working. I got no pass rush. I can set soft because I want to look, for something that's happening. Same thing. And this is Chris Jenkins, right? Chris Jenkins, I could not let him get started on me. Would not let him get started on me. So I would split step, throw my hand in there. On this play right here, I get the V of the neck. I control the block. Now he can't rush me, and now we're outside the pocket. Now he gets pissed off at him when he starts throwing jab faces. And because I just didn't like him, we just kind of, this is what happens, right? Sometimes you got to be an asshole to some guys. Set him soft, 7 soft, cut them, right? I mean, you just do that kind of stuff to mess the guys up. And that was my mentality when I was working at 50 front and no help, all right? So, and then let's talk about what I call overlap. Let's talk about what I call overlap. Now I truly got to slide, or I'm post hand and I got to get to my 3 technique. I wanted to be in a position that where I didn't have to do the work, right? I wanted to overlap the guys. So Coach, if you just stand up real quick, I'm just going to explain this. I'm going to show you some video. You see the position? This is Alex Mack with Colts. So I mean with the birds, right? So if this is my guard and I'm sliding to him 3 tech, I know I have to get there, right? 2 things. No matter where, if I got to vacate, I'm always keeping my offhand up. Whether there's a guy there or not, I want my post hand drag so that once I get there, I still feel something. My hand is not to stop anything, it's an antenna to feel anything that comes to me. So if I go slide and I feel any kind of brush in my hand, I'm going to slow myself down because I'm going to gather whatever's coming to me. It could be a twist, it could not be, it could be a long stick or something like that. But once I determine that that's not there, I don't have to keep my hand out there anymore. When I get to my slide partner, I'm now his wingman. I want to overlap him where my hands are on his back right here, right? 2 things. He knows I'm here. I take my hands off him. He doesn't have no clue where I'm at. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Go, 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 right? Or I'm here, I got you, but his guy's heavy. Now I come in inside hand and come straight heavy on this. Now we're overlap a defender. We got 4 hands on one guy, and now it's up to him to decide whether or not he needs to go. Once I say, I'm good, or I got him, now it's up to him to decide whether or not he needs to go help the tackle, right? So if I'm setting right now, boom, I'm right here. I'm on his hip pocket. I'm overlapping. That's one thing. It's the communication part of it. The other thing is this. He weighs 310 pounds. I weigh 280 pounds. You do the heavy work for me, right? Be smart about it. You take that guy on. I don't want to block him, right? If you're here, now once you take the blow off of him, okay, I got you. Thanks for your help. You're good. No, let's go ahead and sit down. So that was my mentality about overlap, all right? So as you see these video clips, that's what the overlap is. And then the other part of that too is once I overlap the guy, there's no seam in the A gap. In our run block and stuff, we start hip to hip, butt to butt, don't let them split the gaps. Pass protection should be no different. Once I overlap, if something comes back to me, he can't get in this gap, so what's he got to do? He's got to bounce over to the other gap, right? So now he's got to go one gap further than what he's supposed to go. And then this point I'm going to make, and we talked about this yesterday, the difference between a tackle, a guard in the center, and his sets and his protection in his pocket, if you're talking about the dish of the pocket, is this. If I'm a tackle and I set, any inside move, I'm taught to power down and don't give up the inside. Correct? Am I right? I know I am. Just an amen feels good, right? So he is a hinge. The tackle is a hinge. His door hinges from here to here, 180 degrees, but the hinge stops at the line of scrimmage. Now the hinge can move laterally along the line of scrimmage, but it can't open up, right? So the door hinge stops at the line of scrimmage. The guard is a hinge. His hinge opens up probably a little bit less than the tackle's does, but when he comes back to the A-gap, his door stops. He cannot get beat on the inside. As a center, I'm a pivot. All right, there's a hinge, and I'm a pivot. I'm a pivot, and I'm a pendulum. The quarterback is right here. You draw a string straight up the quarterback's ass to the center's ass. That's the top of the pendulum. I'm the big ball that swings back and forth on the clock. My framework of body of work happens at 180 degrees at the line of scrimmage. So if I overlap here, I don't have to prevent an over-the-top looper to stay there. I'm the pivot. I just let him go. Okay, got you, right? Let him do the work for you. He's trying to get in the A-gap. If I close the A-gap off, I'm overlapped. He's got to bounce one gap over. Now I put him over here, and I force him over to the other A-gap, and I've protected the pocket at 180 degrees. If my two doors are stopping where they're supposed to stop, I can open up the gate right here as long as you don't come past the door frame, right? I'm a pivot point as a center. So if you think about that, when you overlap, then you can either stop the guy coming, be physical. If you miss, he comes over the top, you let him come over the top. Alex Mack does a great job. He understands this possibility, does a great job of drag handing, even though there's no threat right there. He overlaps right there. This guy can't get there because the the guard takes the blunt of the hit, and that's what you want. You're just there for his protection, and it's good. But me, I'm putting my helmet on his chin strap and let him know that you probably want to stay over there. I think Alex is a little too nice to this guy. Slide protection, doesn't matter. I got my guard coming to me, 3 outside, we got to go, right? I'm in an overlap position, right? He can't come in that A gap. I'm overlapping. My guard knows I'm there. He doesn't have to jump out because I have 2 outside rushers. Now he can be patient, and I overlap it. Sliding, right? I'm a little lazy with my snap hand. It's kind of hard to drag hand off the snap, but I'm going to get over there. I'm overlapping. See where I'm at? My left hand's on my guard's shoulder, but now I can be heavy with the inside hand. Leave him out there, right? Now, a quarterback snacks the ball and whatever, but, sometimes that happens. Drag hand, right hand, I'm overlapping with the guard. What happens if nothing happens on the overlap? Well, then I can go back and hunt. So I come back, I bang back on the one technique, get a little help there. And then the guard, I kind of left the guard hanging because I left my wingman, and he thinks he's got help, but I'm able to rally back and put something on him, not let him take a hit. And I apologize for the videos, but I'm an old guy, right? So now I'm overlapping, right? Now here's the funny thing, I overlap, but nothing's happening because they got a B-gap rush, and the Colts, they don't like to get hit. They spin off of everything. They see me lean back into it. First thing does is spin away from it. I try to throw a shoulder block on them. Right? 3 techniques, right? I'm getting it overlap because I'm overlap at depth now for the TT stunts. I don't have to worry about getting picked because it's all going to happen in front of me. And here's the great thing about it. If you do it right and your guards are good at seeing it, you let the whole stunt take place in front of you. You never have to put a hand on a guy. Right? Here we go. Overlap. I see it. Now because I'm overlap, when I come back over the top, I'm in position to pick up whatever takes place. Overlap. Here comes the twist. Now, this is what I talk about. I'm the pendulum. Right? I don't have to stop him right there. He's the penetrator, but let him go. Just throw him across. Let his momentum take his place. But this is one of the deals where they're going to run a big game inside and then double game on the outside. So throw him across, and then once you throw him across, that's your side of the ball. Now widen the pocket out. Give your quarterback somewhere to step up. Overlap, put your hands on it. Be heavy on the guy if you can be heavy on the guy. Don't care. I got to honor the A-gap threat. The guy's not coming. How do I know he's not coming? Because most linebackers will stand right in your face in the double A-gap blitz. They're not going to come. And if they do, it's going to be some kind of a pick stunt, not just a bailout deal, right? So I got to honor it by keeping my width there. But once I know he's not coming, I overlap and I get heavy with my offhand. Slide away. I don't have to help because John Henderson. He's not going to beat my guard, right? So I don't have to drag hand as much. I can get over there quickly. I can overlap my guard. I pinch off the A-gap. He's got no right to be in there, right? Same thing. John Henderson not going to beat my guard. I'm going to get over there quickly to the guard. He's overlapping. Now I just widen this pocket out. And the quarterback steps right up into the guy that's in his face. Right? Now here's one of those situations, right? We talked about this one earlier. But even where I'm at, I overlap. And now I'm going to get heavy-handed. They run the stunt. I'm in there. I can be able to stop it off. Yes, sir. This one I did. I moved my left foot first. And it goes back to the thought process of being, I don't care what my feet look like to get there. How was my feet at contact, right? As pass pro, run game's a little bit different. I want to take my drop step. I don't want to cross over if I'm a lead guy. I want to step my second foot up the cross for the defender. I want to half man him or half bench him or whatever. But in this situation, I just want to get there as quick as possible. And so as I get down this one, literally it's click my heels back. It's like a skip pull, but I'm not crossing over the backside of it because I just want to get to my guard as quick as possible so now he knows I'm there. So how quick can I get there? It's not as crucial as an uncovered center to be kick, slide, kick, slide, kick, slide to get there. It's more crucial for the tackles because they got a guy in front of them. But if I'm going back there, there's times I'm sitting there and I just want to, I'm just run backwards, but when I get there, I'm in my good football posture, hand on the back on the overlap position. That answer your question, Coach? Right? So now I'm there, but look, when I make contact, I'm in football position. I got my stagger, my hips are rolled, and I throw the punch. Same thing, right? I click my heels, right? Oh, we're not supposed to click your heels. Well, no, just don't get caught with your heels click, right? Get your feet in the ground, right? You like that one, didn't you? All right, so I can keep going on. All right, so that's my idea of overlap. Then the other part, stay square and gather. Anytime along the front of the offensive line, even if I'm sliding, I don't want to just turn my back. Once I turn my back, I become susceptible to pick stunts and things like that. I want to stay as square as possible. I want my post hand out, whichever way I'm going. I want to be able to feel things, right? Instinct tells me 2 down, they're probably going to come across. I want to be able to feel it and gather it. So I want to stay square and gather it up, right? It's no different than if you're on the back side or the front side of a boot or something like that, and you tell your tackle, settle 1 step. If you feel inside move, settle and gather your defensive end coming into you. Same principle, but now I'm doing it as a center. Right? See my drag hand. As soon as I take my set, my drag hand's coming off, but I got no threat. I don't have to get there right away, but I know this is coming, so my antenna's out. Once I feel this, I slow myself down. I try to stay as square as possible. My hips are turned, my shoulders are square to the line of scrimmage, and I just gather it into me. Stay square and gather. Big move, pressure coming. It tells me they're going to slant across my face. I cheat the set a little bit. My guard's coming to me. I grab and gather it, right? Square, gather it, bring them around, be physical, push them out of the pocket. Same thing, don't know what's going to happen, so I set a little bit soft right here. But as long as I stay square to the line of scrimmage, I feel something coming around. Mario Williams is coming around. I don't got to stop him. I just got to make sure he goes around the pendulum of the pocket, and then I gather him up. Same thing. I think that was the same look. Same thing, right? Stay square, gather. Stay square, he's there. Now I don't have to, he doesn't come all the way across. Now I can stay in the pocket. Now I can hold tight. Don't leave the look. Secure the middle of the pocket. Right, so here's go games, right? Games. The nose tackle's coming to me. Stay square, gather it. Nose tackle, stay square, gather it. Obviously, a lot of these are the Houston Texans, right? That's what their defense was all about. Stay square and gather. Bear front, whatever you want to call it. Double G, whatever. Everybody's got names for different defenses. All I know, I got 2-3 Texans, head and open nose, and the guy's going to cross my face. I'm going to gather it. Look at my snap hand. See what I'm doing. Right? Doesn't matter. Odd look. Stay square. Guy comes across my face. Gather it up. All right, so that's my grasp. Stay square and gather. Nowhere I go, just stay square. You feel it come to you. You don't got to turn and bang it as a center. Just stay square, gather it up, because you're the pendulum point. You can swing it both ways. And this is what I'm talking about, hang and bang. All right, this is where the whole principle of don't leave to look. But this is my principle is when you leave, make sure you're going to go hit somebody. All right, hang and bang. All right, we're going to slide a little bit. This is Pouncey again. He doesn't hang much. And he doesn't bang much, right? A little bit different. Hang, hang, hang. Now he goes put something on him, right? Hang, nothing there. Now go bang, man. Go hit that guy. Your guard's doing a great job. Go rib cage him. I want the guy. That's what I want him to feel that. I want him to go like, man, my ribs, Mawae hit me right there, right? Alex Mack. He's a great job of holding space. He's not leaving the look. But man, go hit the guy. Let him know that he can't just hang on your guard like that, right? Hang, and he gets there, but let's look at the difference. Hang, going after the guy, right? I'm going to attack the guy. Did I get him? But he knows that I'm coming after him, and he tries to arm over me, but the ball's gone. hang, and now here's the, like this. You own the A gap. You slide to the gap, anything from the gap's your gap. You don't belong there, right? You don't belong in my gap, right? Hang, 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 bang. Hang, and I got banged more than I banged him, but it happens, right? And it goes on and on. It's the same principle. I don't got to show you a bunch of them. Okay, well, what about the 50 front? What about odd front? Same thing, hang and bang, right? Hang, bang. Hang, go bang. Sometimes there's nothing to bang. Sometimes you hang, you're looking for something to bang, and there's nothing there. Well, then don't go. Don't leave to look, right? Hang, I'm trying to go bang. Hang on this guy. This is a perfect example right here. There's nothing for me to hit. There's no reason for me to leave. Don't leave to look. So I'm going to fast forward through some of these. All right. So now we go odd slide looks. Right. 50 front. Hang. Go hit the guy. Hang. Go hit him. Disrupt it. Disrupt the pocket. Hang. Disrupt the pocket. Hang, go hit the pocket. I got, just on and on, right? So those are my simple principles that I think about when I pass protection. What are my situations, what gives me? And then this is what the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, and some of these questions about what do you do with your snap hand. Everybody teaches get your hand up on your offhand. Snap, get your hand up. Snap, get your hand up. Snap, get your hand up. And if you're working snaps, pre-practice, the quarterback exchange and stuff like that, if your center is not moving his feet and he's not throwing his offhand during QB center exchange, he's not getting anything out of it, right? He should always be 2 steps, throw my hand, 2 steps, throw my hand, 2 steps, throw my hand. My offhand should always be coming up as a center when I'm snapping the football. If I got a shade to my play side, my hand, my snap hand side, I'm still throwing the punch if it's pass. But I'm not throwing it at the guy, because once I throw it at the guy, I pull my shoulders across, now I'm susceptible to the cross-face move. I'm throwing it straight ahead, so I'm going to replace with my snap hand. If he stays in that gap, if he comes back across, now he's running back into my offhand, and now I can gather him and become the pivot point, change my hips, right? So that's what I'm doing with my offhand. Now, what do you do with your snap hand? Everybody says, get your hand up there as quickly as possible. Yeah, get your hand up there quickly as possible. But guess what that guy's doing? He's putting his hands on you as quickly as possible. So you see on the film a lot of times they take mental notes. What happened? What you see with my hands. And many of you saw this going on, right? You saw it looked like I'm swatting flies. Well, a lot of times as a defender, coach, come back up here. I need you again. He can take notes for you, right? So if I set this guy, doesn't matter which way I set him. If I snap a step, he's trying to get hands on me right now, right? Some of you can see this. Some of you can't. So if I snap, I'm snapped, come back down. Snap, swat. Grab my head. Snap, swat, snap, swat. And the reason why, I got it. All right. So I want to snap, swat. And because I know the guy's got to get his second hand onto my chest. So if I snap and he's going to put his hand, I can swat it and then replace it, right? And I know Scott Peters talks about hand placements and all that kind of stuff. I don't have jiu-jitsu, judo names for all this stuff. I just know that I can swat it and put my hand in it. Sometimes I'll flick it and put my hand in it. But I didn't want him to get his second hand on me, because if he did, now he controlled me and I had to recover. But if he steps off the ball, first thing he does is this. Well, we're fighting for that first hand, and more often than not, I had the ability to get it. I didn't want him to get my second hand on me. So even if I slide an overhand, I get this, and he takes over, I'm sitting there doing this number because I don't want him to get my hand on me. Now once he does, now I got to fight to replace. Then there's times too, the trick of it is, the crown molding of that kind of stuff is this. If I get my hands on him and he goes to lean on me, I can pull with my offhand, swat with my on hand, and he's on the ground. It's a quick snatch down. Boom, bam, he's down, right? So I always want to work my hand until I can get in a position where I can get it in. And then once I get it in, I never let go. Larry Zerline used to get mad at me all the time. We used to do this drill. You sit there with a partner, and you sit there and do this number and play punch games. Punch, punch, punch. And I would sit there and do this, and bam, and lock on. And the guy's sitting there thrashing and stuff, and Larry's like, you keep effing my drill up. I said, well, Coach, why would I ever let go of a guy if I've got my hands on his chest plate? And it kind of like, well, yeah, it makes sense. And so he'll tell you that Kevin's the one that, like, I stopped doing the two-hand punch, settle and replace, because if I punched and got my hands on you, I never wanted to let go of you. So if I get my hand on you, keep you from getting your other hand on me, then I would work my hand, right? So that's where all this is. That's what I wanted to see, because nobody ever talks about what you do with your snap hand. They always just talk about what do you do with your offhand. Your snap hand is just as vital. If I snap on run blocking, first thing I'm doing is this on the run block. The second thing I'm doing is this to get underneath or whatever. If I'm running outside zone, the first thing I'm stabbing, right? So my second, if I stab and I want to jump hook the guy, I'm stabbing. Now I'm going to throw the club and hook him. If I'm run block, I'm going to stab him. I'm stab, stab, stab. And then I'm going to hand swap the guy here on this way so I can get a free release on my linebacker. It's all about using your hands, and that's what I did in pass pro. Boom, throw my hands down, right? And so then the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, because I know you guys, some of you guys, not everybody, I see it in the NFL a little bit, is one of the key things we talked about is creating space. How do you create space? And I had a coach ask me the other day, what do you do, how do you hold the ball in your stance? And I told the guy, like, the worst thing that I see is this is the football, and I'm going to kind of stand at an angle so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing, right? Whatever it is, huddle, fast break, it don't matter. The first thing the center does is this. Ready, break? How many of you guys got a center that snaps the ball like this? Raise your hand. Be honest about it, right? Chest up, the ball's underneath me. Guess where the neutral zone is? The neutral zone is under me, right? And so the guys squat like this, they play like this, they snap the ball like this, or they snap it like this, and they're in the neutral zone. Your center is breaking the rules. And you wonder why the guy's getting on you so fast. You can't get your guards deep enough because your ball, you're like this. And it starts all the way down in the 4th and 5th grade. It baffles me, right? My arm is, I don't know how many long, I didn't get the at the combine. My arms were quite long enough where they weren't disgruntled, right? I play center. If I can get that ball 3 feet out in front of me and still snap it effectively, I've increased the distance between myself and the nose tackle. I don't want the ball pointing up, because if I do, when I go snap it, I'm going to pick it and it's going to catch the ground. I want it comfortably enough and far in front of me that if I'm in my stance, I create a distance here. Now the defensive lineman's got to be on the other side of that ball. And some guys are snapping the ball here. The center's offsides. It kills me, and you guys let them do it. Some of you guys. Get the ball out in front of you as much as possible. So if you can't snap the ball with your hand, pull it back in a little bit. Some guys are dead ball snapping it. That's even better, because you just gave her another 6 inches. And you're still doing this. It kills me. Create space. And then the other part of the cheat of the all games is this. I don't know how many yards I got rushing, but I got a hell of a lot of yards cheating, all right? That's the football. Ready, break. Guys get here, they do this number, they've not helped their team one bit. I did this. Ready, break. That's kind of obvious, right? But that's the line of scrimmage, and that's the size of a rivet, and I need that much to get a first down. That's 3rd and inches. I can go here. I gained 3 inches, and I got a first down already. All I got to do is like, oh crap, fall on the ball, and it's in front of me, and I've gained a first down. Multiply 60 snaps times 3 inches of snap. 180 inches divided by 12 inches is how many feet? I don't know, and then, right? Look, I took college algebra twice. I tell teachers all the time, I tell kids when I take to high school, I say, look, if you take a math class, Just know this, you'll never add, subtract, multiply, and divide alphabets in real life. But you got to subtract and add and whatever. But whatever that is, that's how many yards you can gain in a game. It might be 5 yards in a game. You must be an engineering major or something, I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? So why in God's green earth would you allow your center to sit here like this with his chest held high and the ball right underneath him and his face mask is over the ball? Give yourself a chance to own the neutral zone so now your depth of your guards, your snap count, and your direction of play actually are more effective than you being underneath this still. So that's the other thing. You disrupt the space by making space for yourself with the football. So that, you guys, that was the last thing, the hand stuff. But I just wanted you to understand, from my perspective as a center, my thought process and pass pro. Whether I'm sliding, I'm attacking, but I always wanted to be aggressive. I always worked my hands. And I just wanted to be in good football position when I got to where I needed to be. So, any questions? Yes, sir. I'm still in the same stance, right? Here's the trick I don't have. This is just a trick you guys can use to work your stance. You know those big buffalo, those big round balls, the Bosu balls, right? So I work with guys and I make them sit on it right here. I just sit on the ball, and it's a little bit higher, and I put them in a stagger. And I just want to put your hand on the ground. Now once they do that, I make them roll their hips and slide the ball out from underneath them. Who wouldn't want their guy in a stance like this? Well, it's not perfect, you might not, but I think it's a pretty good stance, right? So even the same thing, I work guys sit here and roll around on the stance and make them kick back, slide. It's the same thing, right? Same stance. Now I can't stay in that stance as much as I used to be able to because it burns my knees, but that's it. But anyways, that's it, guys. Any questions? Slide, anything? Technique? Football? Nothing? Life? Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, fellas, what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to spend a lot of time up here. I'm going to use Scott and his friend, okay, John, right, who are two outstanding young men. Scott, as you know, I think is the finest guy with the use of the hands, combative, pass run, whatever, all right? I'm going to kind of jump around here a little bit, and I only going to put on things I see, okay? A lot of us have big egos, including all of us, right? Me included at times, right? We think our way is the only way. The only thing is I'm going to put some stuff out there that may not be exactly what you like or what you think, but I'm just putting it out there because here's kind of what I see. I'm jumping around a little bit. All right, here's a stretch play we've been talking about, whatever, all right? Watch the center, guard, and tackle trying to push the blocking. You know what I mean by push? They're all going play side, okay? Watch the center, okay? Watch the right guard. Watch the right tackle. Nobody is taken in. I was brought up with the lead step. I did the drop step. I did the whatever step. I did block them on the angle. These guys are trying to stay square, all right, as crazy as it sounds, all right? So again, this is like versus a 3-4 defense. And watch the center after he gets his depth, because he doesn't know the end isn't going to pinch. Watch the right guard's feet. They never cross. Watch the center disrupt the shade or the 5 technique, whatever. Just again, here again, the right tackle doesn't know if the end is going to pinch. He doesn't know if it's a pirate. The center doesn't know if the defensive end is going to come all the way in. So they kind of don't go anywhere, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent. These are just some college kids because I deal with some of this stuff here. All right, watch the center. He's not very aggressive as far as firing out, but that guy crosses his face. Okay, well, the quarterback kept the ball here, all right? So I'm just, watch the left tackle. He's not doing anything, right? He's just kind of standing there. Kind of crazy, right? So anyway, just showing you some different things, some different guys doing some different stuff here. Okay, let's see the center here. Okay, so now the center's got the nose guard. The nose guard crosses his face. Watch the right tackle and the right guard, all right? The guy over the right tackle, 2 gaps to him. You'd think you're going to get knocked on your ass, right? But because the right guard sticks his hand out and hammers him, or what Howard used to say, 1 to 2-handed read, look what they do to the defender. But they're torquing him, okay? So there are versions to turn your pads, block on the angle, lead step, drop step, blah, blah, blah. These guys are kind of staying square, whatever that's worth. All right, now I'm going to jump to something else here. I'm going to go to this stuff right here. Coach Callahan does this stuff, and I'm going to have Scott demonstrate this stuff. Okay, now let's watch... let's watch here the right guard, the right tackle, the tight end, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they're playing Dallas, and they're worried about these pirate stunts, all right? So look what they do to pick it up. They all kind of go sideways, right? And I'm not proposing that you aren't aggressive. I'm just saying is the tackles for losses, the pirates, the fire zones, the pinches, those are the issues you have. It isn't when the defender goes right with you and everything's perfect. So again, they kind of picked up this pinching stunt, and they're losing ground, blah, 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 okay? So we see what that's happening right there. Let's go to play number 5, and then I'll have Scotty demonstrate this. All right, now this is Bill Callahan's right guard. This is their stretch play, all right? Now watch what he's doing, okay? His right foot goes back, his left foot goes back, but his upper trunk goes forward. The thing we're worried about when we don't take a drop step or a lead step or fire out is that we're going backwards like it's a pass. And the offensive coordinator or the head coach would fire all of us, right? But if you'll notice, this right guard is lunging forward. He's firing out. He's firing out, but his feet are going backward. Isn't that kind of weird? In fact, this right guard is trying to hook the 3 with what we call a power hook. He's trying to kind of lock in the outside arm up. But if you'll notice his footwork, he's staying square. The right tackle, even though he crosses a little bit, is trying to stay as square as they can. So I'll have Scott come up here, and he'll just come up here, and Scotty, if you could kind of face that way, okay, yeah, and you could be like a 3 technique on his outside shoulder. That's good. And what I'll do is I'll get behind him so he doesn't fall right on his booty, okay, and kind of, well, let's go on the side here. You go on, you be on his outside shoulder a little bit. All right, so all I want to do, I'll get down and hold you so you don't fall in your face. All right, so what he's going to do, he's going to move this way. He's going to move laterally. This foot might come back a little bit. This foot might come back a little bit. Maybe he just goes laterally. DeCastro. When DeCastro blocks these 3 tech, DeCastro, Sheriff, Martin. 3 right guards, I think they're all good. They all fire their feet, bah, 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 and that's how they block a guy. None of them really turn their pads. You understand what I mean? They're going sideways. It's crazy as shit. You would think, you'd never coach it, right? All right, so watch Scotty. I'm going to hold him so he doesn't fall in his seat. But watch him. He's going to move laterally, but he's going to, upper body's going to, and then you can kind of come in so he doesn't fall on his face. Ready, set, okay, one more time, do it again.
I ripped my shorts.
Okay, I didn't really grab your shorts. Because you're going to come at him hard enough that he's not going to fall on his face. Now, what you'll notice, his feet are what, though? They are firing 100 miles an hour. One more time, ready, set, okay, all right. Are we good now, okay? You could take it or leave it. Maybe there's a point for it. Maybe there isn't. You know what I mean? I would think off the top of my head, okay, that if I was running the pure stretch play, okay, that I'm not so sure that the tight end and the front side tackle shouldn't use this technique, okay? I don't know. Maybe the front side guard should use it but try to hook a guy. Take a look at it, because it's not the point of we're going sideways and soft. It's the pinches, it's the stunts, it's the fire zones. That we should know how to pick it up, but now we got to say this week, guys, let's line up off the ball further. Oh, let's cut our split stop. Hey, we got to change all this shit this week. But if you had one technique or one set of footwork and hand usage that covers all the stuff you could see, you would probably cut down your tackles for losses. Okay? Whatever that's worth. Okay, so now we will go to whatever the next point is. I'm old, so I can't even jump. So again, The right guard again, are we good with what this right guard's trying to do? I'll tell you what he's trying to do. He's trying to lock his outside arm out and then come under with his inside arm to lift the guy. It's actually kind of a 1-2, okay? I'll go to play number 10 here. I'm sorry to jump around and all this. All right, here's kind of the right guard for Philadelphia, kind of doing the same thing, but he's uncovered. Isn't that weird? What's he doing? Well, the only reason he's backing up so far in getting deep, he doesn't know that the end isn't going to pinch. He doesn't know that the shade isn't going to come into him. He is biding some time, getting some depth and width to pick up the shit. Okay, we good? We see it, right? All right, so again, he's uncovered here. All right, if you'll notice the right tackle, okay? He's backing up to block that guy, okay? Because I think their stretch play, they're not trying to capture the edge of the end. If he plays out, they're trying to throw him out, okay? So I think you take a look at the right tackle and the right guard. I believe it's a stretch play. All right, let's go to play number 10 here. I did go to play 10. Let's go to play 11. Okay, here we go. All right, here again. This is the different play now, okay? This is the right guard again. All right, he's staying square. All right, and the ball ends up cutting back. All right, so that's that one here. All right, now I'm going to go to 2018-02. Okay, and then Scotty, we're going to do something right here. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go down to 07. All right, now, do you remember when John Benton was talking, okay? And it just struck me. I wasn't going to do this, but John was talking about the catch hand, okay? The point is, okay, so you're firing off the ball, you're doing the technique that John teaches, okay, where he wants to do his lead step. He might have to be man, maybe the foot moves a little bit, but you want to get this inside hand underneath that armpit. That's your catch hand, all right? That stops the guy if you have to stay man on him. But I think there's probably a real art as I come off the ball. How am I really going to coach that hand to be? I mean, I think that there's a mentality of, man, that catch hand is going to be caught already. If you will watch Scott, all right, actually, well, I'll run these clips a little bit, then I'll let Scott demonstrate with John. All right, so that the guy in the white shirt is trying to maintain that inside whatever, okay? All right, this guy right here don't worry about the footwork, but this guy here has got the catch hand, right? You with me? The right guard is trying to get his inside hand under the defensive guy's armpit, which is what John Benton's trying to do, all right? But there's an art on that thing right there, okay, as we see it, whatever that thing is, okay? So now, these different drills that you see, the guy to our right, okay? He doesn't want the guy to the left to get under. So he is working so hard to either get the catch hand or maintain the catch hand. Because you're strongest when you can control the guy from the inside out. Whether you throw him, you lift him, blah, blah, blah. So Scotty, could you guys demonstrate, without putting you on the spot, yeah, your drill. And what you're trying to do with which hand?
We'll start this drill like with a refit. So John and I are going to be kind of in a neutral fit. Okay, so I got one hand on his shoulder, one on his back. We got the same fit, you know. So we're just going to kind of start by refitting hands. Okay, and at some point, like if it's a hand fight, maybe you guys can do it. There's a number of ways you can do this. You can have it maybe on the coach's whistle. You say set out or go or blow a whistle, and then it becomes kind of a live drill. And so what Coach wants to see here is, we call it a catch hand, we call it like a clog, basically. It's a recovery tool. So John goes to refit, and you say set hut. I'm basically getting that hand in this posture here. So what have I done? I've prevented him from getting his arm underneath mine. Okay? So I've got leverage now. My elbow's tucked to the frame, thumbs out. And what I can do is I can impose power from my hip.
Yeah, could you show them like you're firing out, and now because you've been training that, the attitude you have of how tight that clog arm is as you come out of your stance, okay?
How do you want us to be?
Yeah, Yeah, okay, yeah. You're going to your left, like, yeah, you be the left guy. So Scotty wants to, all he wants to do is use John Benton's catch hand with his right hand, but he's been trained so much on keeping that arm tight. Watch how tight that thing is delivered. Set, hut. Okay, all right, okay, all right. And now, why don't you do the refit drill one more time? But if you train this thing a little bit, it's not going to be late. It's going to come right now. It's going to come out of your stance. Bang! You are catched right now. Okay. Set, go. Okay. Okay. Thank you. We're good. All right. All right, now here is a drill, okay, because we're talking about the stretch play, all right? So again, I'm just changing up. I'm giving you a different idea of example, a guard on a stretch play. You saw 4 different other ways to get the guard blocked on a stretch play, the techniques, blah, 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 okay? All right, this is the one that the Redskins guy used, all right, and the guy on defense is coming full tilt, all right? But the blocker, look what he's doing. What do you notice about your head coach or your offensive coordinator is going to fire you? Why? Because your guys are going backwards. They're going backwards. That is not blocking, right? No, what that. But with this guy, what do you notice about his upper body? His upper body's doing what? Going forward. He's on the top of a teeter-totter. He is lunging. Whatever you want to call that, all right? Go forward, but your feet go backward. Sounds crazy, right? Well, you got to practice it like in a full. The guy on defense got to come at you, right? All right. Again, because you're a little square when you're stronger. You don't have to work like hell on don't cross over. You don't have to work like hell, get your second step on the ground right now. You went too far, blah, blah, blah. I'm just giving you merits of this in relation to all the other stuff that's all good too. It's just one more way to get your mind to think, all right? The big issue is picking up the twists, the stunts, the pirates, the fire zones, the pinches. One guy goes out and the other guy goes in. Okay, so again, all right, if you see this guy, all right, he's trying to lock that outside arm out, and then he's trying to get his inside hand, whatever it is, okay? So again, it's just an art of staying square, and so I just wanted to, Scotty already did that one, okay? Let's go to number 12 here, all right? All right, now, as crazy as this sounds, all right, you're on the backside of a stretch play. Okay, you know all the issues that tackles and the guards have cutting guys off. It's not easy. Okay, the backside tackle's got to get in there and cut that 3 technique or get in front of them, and the backside guard's got to, the backside guard might have to block the nose that cross faces him in the center, right? So if you were really running a valid stretch play, I don't see why there's any reason why the back guard and tackle can't do this. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, right? All right, here we go. All right, so you see this backside tackle skip? Now visualize him turning his pads a little more like he's got to get in front of the 3 technique, right? So Scotty, if you could get up there a little bit and demonstrate like you're the back guard and tackle. All I'm saying to you is when you skip pull, when you skip a pull, like he skipped pull, turn your pads a little more like that, Scotty, when you go in like to cut a guy, okay? Yeah, you're skip, but Johnny, you get in here like a 3 technique. What I'm saying is you're going to cut him off on the backside. So but you're not going to skip pull like you're pulling up in the hole. You're going to skip pull, and then you're going to turn your pads, and you're going to try to get in front of him. I'll give you a set hut. Ready? Attaboy. One more time. Do it again. Try to really kind of rip past him, though, without falling on your face, I know. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right. Johnny, get into a 3. Get a little wider. Yeah. Okay. Ready? Set. Hut. Okay, whatever. Okay, so you kind of get the idea that, thank you. You kind of get an idea. It's physics, right? I'm the left tackle and I step like this. What hasn't moved yet? This foot, right? I move this foot first, I gain a step, right? I don't care if it's back. Now, if the guy runs right into me, I'm not strong at all. But you can get better position. You can get in front of the guy. You can get the guys cut off better when you move your offside foot first. Just like Kevin Mawae did on that one play where he was, pass blocking, okay? Is there any questions about the skip pull on the backside? I don't know why the center can't do it, actually, if he really had to. The center, sometimes they got to really reach a guy, and it's like, oh, my God, I always get flattened out. Something to look at, something to try. Who knows, right? What can it do? All right? Are we good with what they're trying to do here now? Okay, so this would be the right tackle or the right guard, okay? How about the backside guard on a stretch play when you got to worry about the nose cross-facing the center? Or all these fire zones, okay? The more depth you get, the more you can pick that stuff up. Now, you're really not given much of a hand, like John knows how to really do to the 3 technique, but you might not have to because your tackle's getting so much depth, he may not need that hand help. Okay? We're good? Just showing you some different shit. All right, there we go. Okay, let's go to play number 12 here now, okay? All right, thank you for doing that, Scott. All right, let's go to play 11. Okay, here's an interesting thing right here, all right? Okay, I'd like to tell you I exactly know when to use this thing, all right? Let's say the center, the guy snapping the ball, is the right guard. And you're running some sort of a double team on a power, okay? But you got to get the back linebacker. And this is a right guard on a 3. You know how the back linebacker might run underneath the guard on the deuce block? So here's an example of, let's say, the center, the guy snapping the ball, pretend he's the right guard, and he backhands, or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a pretty powerful move here. And then he gets to that area for that run-through backer or the back linebacker or whatever. Maybe this is another way on the inside zone, okay, that you come back and put the guy on your buddy. It's called a backhand, okay? It's kind of like a shoulder chip. It's very powerful, all right? It's not quite as much length as a long arm, all right? Okay? Can we visualize it? Can you think about when you might use it? Okay? It's really 2 hands. Would it be a center? Go ahead and putting a shade back on the back guard on an inside zone when he goes up to the backer? I'm not sure, but I know it's pretty powerful, okay? All right. All right, let's go to 13. All right, let's go to this one right here now, okay? All right, now, what this guy is practicing, let's say this is the right guard on a 3 technique, okay? And he's blocking stretch, or I don't know what he's blocking. He's blocking inside zone, stretch, outside, he's blocking something. But the guy on him fades inside. Are you with me? You understand me? The middle linebacker is running over there. But the guy is heavy as hell on the guard. Okay, so Scott, if you could stand up there. Okay, and John, you be like a 3 technique on the outside shoulder right, or kind of a tight 3, and maybe there's a middle linebacker. And what happens is this 3 technique runs right into Scott. Boom! Boom! Okay? But the middle backer is running too. Somebody's got to get the middle backer. You with me? So the center and guard are working together. So rather than that guard avoid the 3 technique or get flattened out, watch what he does, okay? And I'll do it on the film first, all right? He's actually what we call stuffing the guy back. It's just a drill. So he's playing along with his hands, though. But you see what he's doing? He's trying to put the guy back on the center. He's trying to put him back on the other guy, but he's playing long. He's playing long with his hands. You can't do this if you play short, okay? All right? So you see there's a good example, all right? Let's say this is the center, and this is a shade, okay? And the shade plays the back door. The shade plays the center's back door. And the center's still got to get the back linebacker, because those two got to get those two. So this is called stuffing. You stuff the guy to your buddy so you can come off on the next level to get your backer. But you can't do this if you're playing short. Okay, notice how his hands kind of lock right now. Are we good? All All right, and let's go to this next one here, okay? Here's a thing that that I never even thought of, okay? I don't know. You go get a linebacker, okay? Say this is maybe a stretch play. Maybe a ball's going over the tackle, maybe it's going over the tight end, but this could be the tackle going for a linebacker, this could be a guard going for the linebacker. How many times do we just go out at the backer and we block them, right? Well, we put our head here, whatever. But I think the key is when you start going north, whatever you're doing here, when you start, because it's an inside play, right? I mean, the stretch play isn't way out there like a G play, right? I think there's a fine line when I go to get that linebacker that I better have my inside foot up, okay? Whether you call it a gallop, maybe you got to run a little faster, but if you have the wrong foot up, the guy's going to edge you, the backer's going to come. So I would think on contact, whatever you're doing, is your outside foot needs to be back so you can open up that hip to stay in front of the backer you're blocking, okay? Whether you use your backside hand, your inside hand, maybe you end up walling him, all right? Maybe this is a little more of an inside play, but I just want to show you the effort. What do you notice about the feet? They're always under control, right? And he's galloping, I don't know what you call it, high-legging, blah, 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 okay? All right? Okay. You know, maybe this is on the inside zone when you go up to a backer, all right? Maybe this is more on a mid-zone. But I'm just saying, is there something about the inside leg being up and the foot kind of galloping if for whatever reason when you're going for a linebacker that you're out of whack? All right. There you go. All right. All right, now I'm going to go back up to the top. All right, here we go. You guys can sit down for a minute. Okay. All right, now, what I'm going to cover here now, fellas, is a lot of guys keep the center in the middle of the pocket, all right? All right, so I learned this from Paul Alexander, right? He liked to keep the center in the middle of the pocket, okay? Now, if the center's got to slide, he's got to slide. But the concept is if the center's in the middle of the pocket, whether he's got number 50 or 59, they're not going to blitz, okay? Look how deep they are. Bottom line is when they blitz linebackers inside, usually in a four-man line, they do a twist. So really, I'll bet you if you've studied, okay, when the center stays in the middle, even though his backer's over there, the number of times that you send the center over here to go to the side of his linebacker, are you with me? That a twist is coming this way. Because most of the time, when it's a four-man line and they do twists, they're going to come to you. You understand? When you're worried about a linebacker blitzing, when the linebacker blitzes this way, then somebody's going to go here, they're going to come with you. I'll bet you when you look at your four-man line twists, when they use a linebacker along with tackle stunts, if the center just stayed in the middle of the pocket, you'd pick up all the twists. Okay? The point is, what Coach Callahan's trying to do here, he's trying to tell the right guard, hey, the center's in the middle, you got a little help. You don't have to really overplay, but you don't have to be inside out. So the right guard can get more in the middle of the guy. Okay, he's telling the left guard, that guy's in a shade. The center's in the middle, so you can just sit there. The only issue is the shade penetrates. So the only change I would do now, if you kept the center in the middle and you wanted both guards to be able to set square, okay, you don't want the left guard to have to step in, is that the center and the left guard should go just like Kevin Mawae would say, go up and crush that shade. Both step with that near foot, bang, and then get back at home. Then the center can help the three, he can help anybody. You understand what I'm talking about? Have I lost anybody? Because what's the left guard worried about versus a shade? He's worried about the end tackles twist, the end tackle twist. What are they worried about to the side of the three? The tackle end twist. So be selfishly, let's keep the center in the middle so the center can help both guards, so both guards can overset a little bit. But because of the one or the shade, you better go up and pound him, because if the guard just takes a two set on the shade, there'll be too much penetration. You with me? So all I'm saying is the center's in the middle here. You got me? Okay? But you see the penetration the shade gets when the left guard doesn't punch him? Okay? So if the center and the left guard just both punch 97 and then get back home again, you understand what I'm saying? It would neutralize 97. The center could get back in the hole. All right? Do you understand what they're trying to get, though? All right? Whether it's good, great, whatever, they're trying to tell everybody when that center's in the middle, both guards don't have to set inside. So again, the adjustment I would make is I'd have the center and left guard go up and pound that shade and then back up. As long as you stalemate him or neutralize him, you've made him start over again. All right, so I'll look at a couple of those. I think these are all from Bill. Same thing here, okay? All right. You see why the left guard doesn't step in? He says, hey, that center's right in the middle, okay? And that guy goes out, so the left guard doesn't have to step in. And we want to be aggressive like Kevin Mawae was talking about. Here's the same thing, right? Okay? But you see why that left guard says, hey, I got a one technique. I'm going to take a two set on a, all right, so I don't have to post him. Well, why don't we go up and hit that guy first? Anyway, just some stuff about the center staying in the middle of the pocket, all right? All right, very good. All right, let's go to 003. All right. This is Kyle Long I'm going to show you. He's a terrific player. I mean, my God, this guy's something. All right, now, so this is the right guard for the Bears. I think this is a couple years ago, okay? Now, these defensive guys, now, like Coach Mudd says, and I really love everything that Coach Mudd has taught me and whatever, Howard Mudd would tell you, set short or shorter. Go jump the guy. Get on him quick, boom, 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 okay? Now, this right guard is not jumping the guy, okay? Whether you jumped him or didn't jump, I'm just showing you the technique. The big thing these defensive guys do, the number one, in the old days, they used to do a lot of rips. They used to do a lot of shoulder swats and swim. They don't do that anymore. Occasionally, they try to knock your hands down. They try to knock your hands down. They try to knock your hands down. That's the bitch. Bang, they knock your hands down. So anyway, this right guard for the Chicago Bears, what he's doing is putting a high outside hand. So he's setting, and he doesn't want to get his outside hand now. He's not worried about his inside hand right now. The guy's out there. So his outside hand, and he counters it. We did this with Anthony Munoz like 30 years ago. So he's like wedging, boom, and then he'll come underneath, so it'll be like a 1-2. He's got a high outside hand. He's blocking this. Is there an art to it? I'm sure there is. You know, definite. Scotty, could you guys demonstrate this, that counter the SWAT thing? Like John, where you would like go to knock his, you know, I don't care if it's knock his hand down or or whatever. Yeah. Ready, set, hut, hut. Okay, one more time. Yeah. Hey, Scotty, you know the elbow like this, and you know the block. Ready, set, hut, hut. Yeah, beautiful. One more time. Watch him again. Ready, set, hut, hut. Okay, attaboy. He puts two hands on the guy, whatever. But what he's doing is, now, put your hand out, Scott, and John, knock it down. Let him knock your outside hand, but don't, set, hut, hut. Yeah, okay. That's what, knock him down with your outside hand now this time. Ready? Set, hut, hut. Okay. All right, now this time, Scotty, high hand, wedge. Ready? Set, hut, hut. Okay. Okay, now, with this, now the other thing, if you do the one thing, if you could come over the top like with a clamp. This is, a lot of guys do this one here. So when they come, he goes to knock the hand down and you come up, you're clamping the bicep. You're clamping the bicep. Ready? Set, hut, hut. Yeah, boy, one more time. This is what I see more. Watch it one more time. Ready? Set, hut, hut. That's it. So when you guys are getting your outside hand knocked down, okay, you can be proactive like Coach Mudd and get into him right now. You can be proactive and shoot your hand right now. But if you're reactive, you might have to block it or come over the top of it. Am I losing anybody? Is there any issues about what I'm trying to explain? They knock your outside hand down, you're dead. Knock your inside hand down, they're dead, okay? So one I guess I'd call a wedge, the other I guess I'd call a clamp, or you're trying to clamp his bicep, okay? Thank you, Coach. All right, so we're watching a couple of these wedges here, okay? You see him do it now, right? It's hard because it's not from the right side, right? I mean, we'd like to see him more from the back do it. All right, here he is, same guy. Okay. Can you get a vision of, but still through this whole thing, what do you notice that this guy's a good player? What do you notice he's trying to do? John's inside catch hand. Scott's inside clog. Inside lift. whatever that stuff is, right? Are we good with that technique by Kyle Long? Okay. All right, now let's go to this one here. This guy was the best. I think Tony Wise, if he's still here, this guy is the very, very best at using the inside catch hand on pass blocking. What he did was he would come out with an outside clamp, and I mean, it was like shit. It was a Mike Tyson uppercut. It was a mother. His name was Brandon Moore. He was a bitch. The only thing is, unless the center's in the middle for you, you might have a tendency to overplay it a little too much. You might be better off using your outside hand to punch him in the chest and then do an uppercut than maybe going for. Don't set too wide. Bottom line, watch his inside uppercut. Right guard. Look at a number of them. We're not going to look at them all. You see it? Look what he does with that uppercut. It's like circular. It's a torque. That's what it is. He's got a little bit of a tilt, but he's got the outside clamp. You see the clamp like Scotty did? And he's got the inside lift. All right? And now I think if I were going to coach it, what I would do is, as soon as I did that outside clamp and that inside lift, then I could pull that outside arm off. So I can really, boom, I could lift them and throw them. Lift them, throw them, maybe you throw them right now. But here is an uppercut. Here's a pass block. Here's a single under, if that makes sense to you, right? We'll watch one more. Okay. Just wanted to show you that one. All right. Oh, here's one more. Same guy. Here comes the center. All right. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to go to some jumping stuff, okay? O2. Okay? All right. All right, so the center's got a shaded nose, okay? And we saw this a little bit before. I think if you can do it, okay, you'd be better off being proactive. When you set on a shaded nose, if you could set where your kick foot is not a kick foot anymore. It's either parallel or it's up. Okay? So what I'm saying, when you snap the ball, okay, rather than taking a kick step back, you'd be better off either going parallel or stepping slightly up or firing your feet and ending up with your outside foot and hand. As soon as you center, got a shade, and he kicks hard. So you need to stop him like Kevin Mawae would like to stop him. So the best way to stop a shade is by either setting parallel with that foot or slightly forward. If he's away from you a little bit, you might have to fire your feet, and then maybe the foot goes forward. You understand what I'm saying to you now, okay? It's being proactive versus a shade. All right? Okay, here's 53. All right, left center for the Chiefs. You see him? Now, he's really not taking a kick step, right? What you guys would call a kick step, right? So, shorten it up. Make it more parallel. I don't care if when you hit him, that foot's forward. But you'll blunt him a little more, and then same foot, same foot, same hand. Same foot, same hand. The closest hand to that guy is his left hand, right? If you were going to the right, even though it's your snap hand, how fast can you get your snap hand up? But your foot, so Scotty, could you show him kind of like it doesn't have to be necessarily an up kick, but at least a parallel step where you're not kicking back versus a shade. So John, yeah, as a center. So John, why don't you turn the other way so they can see you. Yeah, that boy. You can go to your right, okay? Watch, so be a little looser on him, John, this way. So Scotty, you might have to foot fire first, then up kick. Ready? Set, hut, hut. Okay, kind of come into him. Yeah, ready? On hut, ready? Set, hut, hut. Okay, you see what he's done? One more time. Good. Now watch if he crosses his face. Because, that's beautiful, stay right there. Because he uses this hand and this foot, he's closed the space. I don't know if it makes sense. This hand now, this foot kind of now, gets on him sooner than this foot back. Okay? So you don't have to go as far to cover him. Okay? You can hit him in the face. And if the nose crosses your face, watch his other hand protect his backside. All right? He's proactive with that parallel or up foot, but he's not going to get beat across his face because he's got on him sooner with that hand, and then the backside hand and leg can be ready for the cross face. Okay, so John, kind of cross face him. Or, kind of go the other, yeah. But set, hut, hut. One more time, here we go. All right, that's good. You can go half speed so we don't break the machine. Yeah, all right. So watch it. Scotty, maybe just hit him in the face, well, you know what I mean. Well, almost just like a plain up kick. Ready, on hut. Ready, set, hut, hut. Watch it one more time. Watch him now. The near foot and near hand gets on him faster than if you kick stepped. All right? But he's not oversetting him, so his back hand is a catch hand, and his drop foot, his left foot is now dropped opposite for the cross face. Set, hut, hut. Okay, thank you. Are we good with the center here? Do we understand how you kind of get on him quicker with that foot not kicking? We're good? Thank you.
That's when they slide, Jimmy, or is he setting in the middle? Well, what happens if the guard, what happens if he's got the shade?
Well, when you got the shade in the duel, but what he's asking is, what about when the right guard is double reading, where he's going to hang, and the right guard might have to leave him, then the center would have to set. But I'm not so sure, I'm thinking about right now, that you couldn't use that same technique. Because what's that guard always doing that's got the dual read? He's hanging on that shoulder. In fact, Scotty, let me ask you what you think on this, okay? John, could you guys get up there one more time? Here was a good question, all right? I don't know. I think as long as that guard stabbed him, okay, put the shade on this side here, all right, and you kind of up kick, all right? And now I'm the guard that's on a duel. I got to go Mike, Sam, whatever. So I don't want to just vacate here like this, right, because they run all those picks. So if you use an up kick, ready, set, hut, hut. Right from the stand. Ready, set, hut, hut. Oh. Okay. All right, now I might have to leave him. I'm not so sure he can't reset his whole hand and body by the time all that because what if they run a twist? What's this nose going to do anyway? Well, bend down. What's this nose going to do if this end crashes and the backer scrapes? He's going to cross his face. All the time.
We're talking now. We're taking the duel outside in. So Sam's on the ball. We're set. We're looking at Sam first.
That's fine, but your guard still has to hang on that shade because they could run an NE twist. I don't know. I'm saying is if that center pounds that nose, and as long as he's got that guard to stab him, even though they might be sorting, maybe it'll work. Okay? All right, let's see what I got here. All right. Okay, center's 02. Okay. Okay. All right, here's the center where he doesn't have any help. The same thing you're talking about, right, Bob? He doesn't have any help from the guard. So I don't think it matters. So all I know is that center is not taking a deep kick step. He actually ends up kind of parallel. All right, let's go 7. All right, let's talk about the guards jumping, okay? All right, now these Coach Mudd doesn't like to call it jumping. I think Howard likes to call it short setting or whatever the word. He doesn't want anybody to think that you're just firing out and jumping, guys, right? Watch this now, okay? So you've got a guard that's trying to get on a guy quick and close the space, but not back up. Trying to be proactive, right? So the best thing when you got kind of a loose guy would be to fire your feet, then go forward. Fire your feet. Don't just go on an angle. What time am I done? Right now? Okay. So what I'm saying, rather than, I got a guy over here, rather than take a little drop step and go get him, watch me. If I just fire my feet, and then I go forward. So I just fire forward. I'm biding a little time. I don't just jump the guy right now. I fire in place. Maybe I move my inside foot first. If he's a tight 3, boom, boom, boom. Okay? I still want to close the space. I still want to get on him, whether I double clamp him, double under, blah, blah, blah. So you'll see some foot fires here, okay? Watch Levitri, the left guard. All right. Watch De Castro, the right guard. See his feet? Okay. Watch him here. He short set him, but he didn't just fire out. All right, let me go to one other thing and then we'll be pretty well done here. All right, let me just show you some things from this training camp here, or mini camp or whatever it is. All right, okay, I'm going to brag on our new line coach a little bit. Okay, so here we go. I've got to turn the page here. All right, individual blocks, keepers. All right. Well, they're working these ball drills, fellas, where they're trying to stay real low, okay? Now watch this. I'm not questioning any of you guys. I'm not putting your guys move their feet like this. This is De Castro. This is Martin. This is Sheriff. Okay, now it could be guards, could be tackles, could be centers, but everything is fire in the hands and the feet. Fire in the hands and the feet on just about everything. Okay, and they're doing a little seat roll for whatever. Okay, all right. Now here's a little drill here now where they're just practicing on bags like a double team. Okay, but they're firing their feet and they're always chopping their feet. All right? All right, now here'd be another one here. All right, now, they're practicing jumping. Let's say this left, they're both guards and they're jumping a loose 3 tech. They're going after the guy, but they're always trying to get back in the middle of the pocket. They're always trying to get back in the middle of the pocket. So when you practice your short sets or whatever, you just practice your short set and it's all over. You might have to short set and you might have to get back in. Maybe the guy doesn't maybe you got to stay on him, but you might have to pick up a TE. So there's always a redirection on all the different things they're practicing. I'll find one more thing if I can find it that is that when they're doing okay, this is interesting, okay? All right. The right tackle and the right guard are double teaming. The right tackle and right guard are double teaming a 3 technique, okay? So the right tackle comes down with a high leg, but he says he's got to go get the backer, all right? The right guard's blocking the 3, but the nose might cross his face, or he might have to take his guy. The 3 technique might go inside. So there's always a transition. There's always a recovery move. Okay, left guard and left tackle, doubling the 3. All right, so see what the left guard's doing? He's either transitioning to finish his guy or transitioning him to a cross-face nose. You see what the left tackle's doing? He's got to get up and get the linebacker that might cross his face to keep his shoulders square. So they're always transitioning 1 to 2 to maybe 3 different things that happen at once.